Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary and text of Toasted English by R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan, that is Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayana Swamy, is an Indian author best known for his novels, which are all set up in the South Indian town of Malkudi, which is his own imaginary place. R.K. Narayan was born on October 10, 1906 and died on May 13, 2001. He is one of the best Indian novelists in English, and he is known for his simple language and really realistic characters. He has published more than 10 novels and short story collections. His works have been translated into many Indian and European languages. His most famous works include Malkudi Days, The Guide, The English Teacher, A Tiger for Malkudi. This essay, Toasted English, is a half humorous and half serious essay, and here he says how the same language, that is English, differs from one country to another. In the essay, he brings out the difference between American English and British English, and he shows this difference in a very amusing way. He also tells that, like Indians, Americans also were first colonies of British and later drove the British out of their country. But just like Indians, Americans also had adopted English as their spoken language. The Americans used the English language in an easy way and left the use of the passive voice, unlike the Indians. They also gave up formalism and used certain keywords for their own convenience. This process of modifying the language, that is English, is called toasting. For example, instead of saying trespassing prohibited, they will say newly planted don't walk on the notice board. Now this new word became very handy because they could be used for multiple meanings. The author likes American English because American English leaves no room for any speculation, and at the same time one person need not spend time looking out and studying the signboard and trying to understand the meaning. An example of this is when a signboard is used to convey clear instructions, such as when it says absolutely little parking, meaning there is no parking at all for you, go to another place. Okay, yeah and yes are more commonly used expressions. Narayan mentions the example of the word check, which may safely be labeled the American national expression. While the British use this word according to the definitions, the American uses it anyway. I'll check means I'll find out, I'll examine, I'll verify. Your check means your token, your ticket. Check girl means it is a person who takes care of your coat, umbrella or anything you have. Further, R.K. Narayan discusses the bazaar status of English. It is used in a very polite way in London. The conductor in London will never say ticket on a London bus, but simply go near the passenger and say thank you, and on receiving the fare and issuing the ticket also he will repeat it. We have no need to use yes sir, yes darling with the words yes sir. The words yes, okay are self-sufficient words that definitely needs no suffix to show any special respect. Yeah seals a sentence without any fuss to continue the dialogue or conversation. Yeah is spoken in a very short base of tongue grunt. R.K. Narayan feels that the time has come when English should come out in the open in dusty streets and become the language of the common man. He feels, like Americans, it should also adapt according to the Indian needs and atmosphere. Here, he does not want the Mongolization of English. Grammatical rules should have remained the same. Like Toasted English, India should develop a Bharat brand of English. One should not have to think before speaking. The author wants that Indian English should have its own identity, its Swadeshi stamp, and he says it should be unique and distinct from the present English. This is a summary. Now let's go to the text and see what he actually says. In American restaurants, they call for toasted English, referring to English muffins, which, though being made in America, now retain English as a sort of concession to their origin. The same may be said of the Americans' language too. They too went through a phase of throwing out the British but retaining the language and letting it flourish on American soil. The resultant language is somewhat different from its British counterpart. It may be said to have gone through a process of toasting. One noticeable result of this toasting is that much of the formalism surrounding the use of English has been abandoned. In America, they have freed the language from the stifling tyranny of the passive voice, where we should say ceremoniously, trespassing prohibited, they signboards, as I noticed in the parks of Berkeley, merely say, newly painted, don't walk, or absolutely no parking, leaves no room for speculation, and no motorist need spend too much time peering out and studying the notice. In a similar situation, our authorities are likely to plant a 20-line inscription on the land to say, under Municipal Act so and so this area has been reserved, etc., etc., and any vehicle stationed thereon will be deemed to have contravened subsection so and so of the Motor Vehicle Act, etc., etc. I saw on many American office doors just do not enter. The traffic signs at pedestrian crossings never mince words, they just say go or wait. In a Hollywood studio, I was rather startled to read Mark Stephens' Keep Out. Mark Stephens is a busy television personality who does not like to be disturbed by visitors. Instantly, it left me wondering why, if Mr. Stephens did not like interruptions, he announced his name at all on the door. But it is one of the minor mysteries that make travel through the country so engrossing. The toasting of English has been achieved through other means also. Americans have evolved certain basic keywords which may be used anywhere, anyhow, words which have universal multi-purpose use. I may make my point clear if I mention the example of the word check, which may safely be labeled the American national expression. While the British usage confines it to its bare dictionary definitions, the Americans uses it anyway. This expression being so devised that one may blindly utter it and still find out that it is appropriate for the occasion. I'll check means I'll find out, investigate, examine, scrutinize, verify, or probe. Your check means your ticket, token, or whatever you may have to produce. Check room is where you leave your possession for a check, while check girl is one who takes care of your coat, umbrella, or anything else you may leave in custody. Check in and check out. At first I heard it as chuck out and felt rather disturbed. Refer to one's arrival in a hotel and departure therefrom. And there are scores of other incidental uses for the word. If you are ever hard up for a noun or verb, you may safely utter the word check and feel confident that it will fit in. Fabulous is another word that is used in that country freely without much premeditation. Of course, everyone knows that fabulous means, but American usage has enlarged its sense. I heard a lady in Wisconsin declare, "Oh, those cats of mine are fabulous," meaning that they are eccentric. "Oh, so and so, he is fabulous," may mean anything from a sincere compliment to an insinuation that so and so plays a mild form of charming lunacy. Okay or okay is another well known example. It is the easiest sound that ever emanated from the human vocal cords. Everyone knows how comprehensive its sense can be. Okay is a self-sufficient word which needs no suffix to indicate any special respect for the listener. It can stand by itself without a sir to conclude the sentence. In this respect, it is like yeah, which seals off a sentence without further ado. Yes, sir, or yes, darling are conceivable, but yeah, sir, or yeah, darling is unthinkable. Yeah is uttered in a short base of the tongue grunt which almost snaps any further continuation of a sentence. Yes involves time as a sibilant could be prolonged. The refinements, if usage in countries where English has a bazaar status, are worth a study. On a London bus, you never hear the conductor cry, "Ticket, ticket." He approaches the passenger and says thank you, and on receiving the fare says again thank you, sir. I found out that one could calculate the number of passengers in a bus by halving the total number of thanks heard. In any Western country, if a receptionist asks, "Can I help you?" it really means, "Have you any business here? If so, state it." Or it may mean, "Evidently you have wandered off into a wrong place, go away." A man who wants to pass you always says, "Excuse me," while he may with all justice burst out, "What do you mean by standing there gaping at the world while you block everybody's passage? Stand aside, man." When you send your card in, the busy man's secretary appears and whispers in your ear, "Would you like to wait?" Though the tone is one of consultation, you have really no choice in the matter. The thing to do is not to answer the question but say thanks and look for a comfortable seat in the waiting room, although you may feel like saying, "No, I wouldn't like to wait, I have other things to do." The time has come for us to consider seriously the question of a Bharat brand of English. As I have said in my essay on English in India, so far English has had a comparatively confined existence in our country, chiefly in the halls of learning, justice, or administration. Now the time is ripe for it to come to the dusty street, marketplace, and under the banyan tree. English must adapt the complexion of our life and assimilate its idiom. I am not suggesting here a mongrelization of the language. I am not recommending that we should go back to the says we had, particularly in the railways. "Where you going, man?" Bharat English will respect the rule of law and maintain the dignity of grammar, but will have a Swadeshi stamp about it unmistakably, like the Madras handloom check shirt or the Tirupati doll. How it can be achieved is a question for practical men to tackle. This is the original text of his essay, and I've also given you the summary. If you would like to add on anything to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.